just my.
Do you want me to get,
humble opinion.
You said that
Let me get
there's
some
a
information
separate
to
code
John.
about billboards.
yeah,
For the
it's,
Tennessee?
yeah, there is,
standards?
but we have more language in just the zoning that wasn't in the sign ordinance.
I'll go look for
Start going
No, this
back
is a council meeting.
at,
And we can vote to take out your pay.
in other words, that means, the people coming off the freeway, they take him down. If they,
No.
yeah, no way, let me finish. On, if the state side put up a billboard sign, we're gonna tell them they can't put it up. The state's gonna tell us to jump in the lake, they're gonna do it anyhow because
Oh,
they got authority over us.
well, but I mean, a couple of things about that. One, I don't know that the state would necessarily be looking for a place to put a billboard.
Some of them does, says this one here says I-75, in other words, coming off on that state page back.
And nothing, and ultimately, nothing we do as a city is going to overrule anything the state has in place. So that, I mean, that is correct. I don't think the state's going to come forward and say, oh, we think a billboard needs to be here, on behalf of someone else or whatever.
Well, there may be some law that, of course, gives the state the right to sell billboard space on their own right-of-way or something like that that's not trumped by municipal ordinance.
And if that's the case, then, yeah, so be it. But for what we can control, I think we need to control.
Sure.
Are we gonna try to control the cell towers too? Because they're as big as eyesores, these.
We can, I imagine, I mean, I'll defer to.
I think there's some federal preemption that may about that, but I don't know.
Yeah, when I seen the,
Well, they're looking for some property around East Ridge High School, you wanna put one in your backyard?
Let's get it allowed.
they said if they don't pay enough, they will.
They're paying enough, I guess.
I'll tear my little outbuilding
They
down.
pay pretty good, I think.
Or get good reception then, shouldn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Might get a free cell phone.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, what about these? Oh, yeah, he's coming with me. They're both coming.
Yeah, I think Brad and Kenny went to get some information.
What about the windows got these flashing lights?
Uh, I don't know to what degree we can regulate some of that. I know.
See, the guy, what is it, on shop right there, he's got them flashing lights in the windows and stuff.
And I know there's a distinction, a sharp distinction made between interior signs and exterior signs. So I don't know what if anything we can do to regulate that.
Kenny, I asked a question, I looked, you guys want to get some information. Oh, the windows inside the building on businesses, they put flashing lights inside, advertising their business. How can you control that, or can we control that?
You can control it. I mean, if that's what you would like, I mean, that's the discussion.
Well, I'm not saying do it, I'm just asking, can we do that? Or would that be knocking their business down, or their business?
I think you can get you can narrow it down maybe too much. Now, if they had a flashing advertisement in every window, now it still can't,
That wouldn't be a pole sign or any
it
of
still
the
can't
LEDs.
All right.
impede like traffic or causing issues.
Seems to me, though, that would meet the definition of attached sign. An on-premise sign painted onto or attached to a building, canopy, awning, you got a sign in a window, that's attached to a building.
Before that, yeah.
Marquee or mechanical equipment located outside a building. Or mechanical equipment located. but it seems like the definition may be broad enough to cover
And
that.
that may need to be something that,
Yeah.
you know, we either add to or take away from,
Right.
depending on, because everybody's gonna have an open sign, and a lot of times they're gonna be lit.
Right.
So if you say that that's not, you know, that you want to prohibit that,
Probably just need to clarify it
the
one way.
definition.
Okay. You all had additional information, is that right?
Billboards in our present ordinances are not clearly defined. We give a standard if it falls underneath the state of Tennessee standards. It says that it'll follow the standards of the state of Tennessee. So we have not determined anything, a size, a location, and so on, for billboards. We have an off-premise standard presently. And so that's kind of, I think, some of the confusion and why maybe we have so many that we do. There's also a billboard that's allowable in a particular zoning area, and that would be the M2 zoning, that it is a basically use on review of the council. That's what I got.
Question was asked in here while you all were out of the room. Is there a scenario that would be foreseeable where anything we do in terms of regulating billboards conflicts with what the state would come in and say would be allowed? I guess that's the best way.
We've had to look into what the state, where the state's jurisdiction starts and stops. The state basically, it's, I think, 660 feet from the state highways they would regulate. Outside of that, we've been told that specifically that they don't regulate that. That's entirely up to the municipality. Outside of 660 feet, that regulation does talk about state-owned highways and motorways, but Ringgold Road doesn't seem to fall into that category for them. 75 does, but not Ringgold Road.
It's still state highway though.
Oh, we understand that, but they have drawn the line. They don't want that jurisdiction. Remember, Jack? We went through specifically on that.
It'd be nice to get them,
Yeah.
Like I said, I think we do what we feel like at this point we can do, and if there's a conflict with the state down the road, then there's a conflict with the state down the road.
Well, I'm gonna need to look at that because there's the Tennessee Billboard Regulation and Control Act of 1972 that places restriction on outdoor advertising. It provides for billboards within 2,000 feet of a major highway, things like that. So if Tennessee law preempts what we propose to do, then obviously we've got the short stick. So, but let me take a look at that.
So you're saying that
Hmm.
we shouldn't propose anything right now in this meeting?
Well,
Until
we
you
propose
vote?
it, then we won't, but of course it's an ordinance that has to come up on 2 readings. But I would strongly suggest and encourage that we looked at existing Tennessee law first, and federal law for that matter.
Okay, let me kick this around, just for discussion, okay? A motion to place a moratorium of off-premise signage for signs that will not exceed 25 square feet and/or referred to as a billboard. Menu boards shall be exempt. 25 square feet, it's basically a 5 by 5.
The 25 square feet and larger would be,
25 square feet and smaller would be okay. That should cover the churches, that should cover the little directional signs, you know, like I said, for East Ridge United Methodist and any other kind of small directional signs. I mean, what is codes and council and any other interested parties, what are your thoughts about something along those guidelines? I guess I asked
Did we have when you put up the nonprofit people, thing in there, and you didn't have no limited square footage, did you? You just had a maximum height or something?
Five square
It's
feet.
5 square feet.
Okay, so that goes along with what he's going to do right there.
Mhm.
So, and
Right.
what's the setback off of that?
I believe the billboards is, because it falls in some of the gray areas that we have, I believe that would be a smart move. In understanding it, obviously we have way too many throughout the city.
It's a lot,
You want me
Kurt.
to put that in the form of, I guess I could put it in the form of a motion. This is a call meeting, correct?
It is.
All right.
That's hold on, Mark, for you
Okay.
for
Yes, sir.
for discussion.
Yes, sir.
On this back page here, the off premises, I believe this is off premises. This sign right here is listed as a directory sign.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Am I reading that as a 8-foot minimum? Or is that 8-foot minimum height? Saying 8-foot minimum, and whatever they agree kids
This-
wrote under it.
Some of this didn't come through real well, the original. I got the original.
Where are you looking at?
Right here on the very back page,
I don't think I
Yeah,
got the original.
Yeah, I got that.
right here beside that, you know, it looks like a monument sign.
The original
Okay.
ordinance.
Okay, but he's calling it, the way I'm reading it, is a directional sign.
Okay, all right, I see where you're talking about now.
Are we, and he's got 8-foot minimum something, 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 but I.
Well, it didn't come through for some reason, it was a program issue, but none of this this is what's still current in our.
8-foot minimum vertical clearance, 125 square feet or less.
So it's a vertical clearance.
Okay, but that is a DIREAOR, what does that spell? Directional sign?
Yes, that's part of it that didn't come through. If you'll notice there's some pretty good typos right there.
Okay, so he's talking about a 5-to-5 directional sign off premises. This is here where we're allowing a directional sign of, what you say, 125 square foot?
Well, all of this will have to be adjusted anyway based on, because this is all old, this is all the other stuff. So whatever you decide.
Well, I thought this
will be
is what
with
we were
changes.
keeping.
You can keep it,
Okay.
but what I'm saying is, none
But
of
what I'm
the
trying to get
new
at is what his
sizes.
resolution is, in ordinance he's going to
Okay.
write.
Well, I said that menu boards would be exempt. Menu signs would be exempt. That's what I
This is,
said.
but you also said directional sign to be included, be used as directional sign for 5-to-5, for a 5-foot, 5 square foot.
Yeah, 25 square feet and,
All right.
okay. Menu boards to be exempt.
But did you say directional in that too?
I may have, yeah.
Okay. Well, they're saying this is a directional sign, 8 foot, so that'd be 64 square foot.
Okay.
Isn't that an on-premise sign though?
It says all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on all.
What,
I mean, I'm just bringing that up. 'cause-
yeah, oh, yeah. It's better safe to catch it now than be sorry later and have a conflicting issues there.
According to this was back in July 2000.
Whatever the will of the council is, and if you want to amend that one and the back page and make it to be 25 square feet, or if you want me to amend mine, I think everyone in here realizes what my goal is.
Make your motion.
And I think on, just like our attorney said, well, go, he needs to get the state on some of this, check it out before we do
Would
this.
it be better to get what it is, adapt the whole thing, is to adapt it one piece by one piece?
Organizations like the churches,
Yeah.
civic groups.
One shot.
Yeah.
So the off-premises sign, if you just did away with them all together, with an exception of what's already there, which is this.
So we have three or four different
Hey,
pieces.
Kenny, I was just looking for that, what page is that?
113?
I remember us talking about it, but I didn't remember where it was.
And the reason why I said, because Mark keeps referencing churches.
Yeah, it's not a
organizations.
problem.
Right,
That's already been took care of.
right. So are we gonna allow off-premises sign for everybody else also?
Right.
And just shrink the size, or are we doing away with all off-premises signs with the exception
Of those.
of the allowable on-premises sign for churches, schools, and nonprofit
Because
communities?
we did talk about earlier, doing away with the off-premise directional signs, except for those nonprofit groups that were identified. So, if we put a moratorium on essentially billboards, you really wouldn't have to, I guess you could restate it in a way that it exempts those that are, those nonprofit groups that are exempted in 109D, or those applications that are exempted in 109D.
You may want to talk to RPA and see if they've ever had any situations where they've debated that issue.
Mark, what do you think about just doing away with all the billboards, all the new billboards? Directional signs and everything, even for the nonprofit thing.
Yeah,
So you're wanting to do away with anything existing after that? You know,
well, that's what Kenny and Brent were just talking about. Going ahead in the motion, go ahead and make the motion, but exempt those entities that are listed in section 109D, which
Well,
is,
could we just add an entity in here to where no more billboards to be erected outside of what's already there and what's already been passed? And then leave the rest of it alone, where we can just have one motion put in front of us to accept the whole thing as a package, instead of having a motion for this and a motion for that, to where we have to go back to find this ordinance number, or resolution number every time. We know we just go back to sign ordinance, and there it is. Instead of doing 4 or 5 ordinances, you know, one for the billboards, one for the,
One package deal.
you know, let's do it all this, sign
Folks, go ahead and
ordinance.
vote, accept this as a
So we just add billboards into the sign ordinance itself?
Right, and do away
And that's-
with any more
However-
existing.
What that does though is it leaves probably a 6-week or longer window where
That's
someone
what
can
I'm-
come in and apply
that's-
for one.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah, they
prevent.
apply for one. Well, I hear
But then we're
that,
still gonna give a 2 or 3 week window here. Because we gotta do this on 2 readings.
Yeah, but if they came in, you know, I would think that they could just be put on notice, hey, that the council is, we can't grant this because I don't know what the legalese of it, but could we deny it based upon the council has already voted to do away with these on the first reading?
Attorney?
You're trying to call this the first reading?
Yeah, this would be the first reading of the resolution concerning billboards, yeah.
We don't have a number ready. We'll
I don't
get into
remember.
that again. We got into that last week or week before.
Yep, got covered full on that.
I think what needs to happen is Kenny needs to get with RPA and go over these issues. We need to determine whether there's a preemption by Tennessee state law, for example, with regard to the billboards. We need to have one finished product that the council addresses in 2 separate meetings as an ordinance.
Okay, let me ask you this, okay? Because here's my fear. My fear is that someone is going to get wind that we are looking at putting a moratorium on billboards, and someone's gonna come in here tomorrow or next week and try to apply for 5 permits.
Get through,
And-
exactly.
and we
Get
get-
through a dozen applications.
And we get
and
hammered
next week.
with more billboards applications. That's what I'm trying to avoid.
What did you do with check cashing places? Didn't you pass something that they couldn't apply until you read both ordinances?
No.
I don't think so.
We had 3 or 4 that got in under the
I
deadline.
think that would,
I don't think we can do that.
could we pass a moratorium here
That's-
until we have completed a revision of our sign ordinance, until we have actually passed this package on second reading?
Yes.
Sounds good. I make a motion to put a moratorium on the City of East Ridge's sign ordinance.
Talking about approving all future signs whatsoever in the meantime? Or are you talking about simply billboards?
All Mark's talking about simply billboards.
Simply billboards.
I'll say.
Or should I say, signs that exceed 25 square feet?
Okay, so,
Seeing as how we have no set definition of the term billboard. Okay?
I'll say.
we have a motion and a second to pass a moratorium on signage, off-premise signage.
Yes, off premise, not to exceed, that exceeds.
That exceeds
25
25
square
square feet. Until such time as we have this signed ordinance revised on second reading.
Does that be put in resolution?
Yeah, that's how the number for it.
Absolutely.
Get out a number.
So that's gonna come up for vote next Thursday?
We're fixing to vote on it now.
No, I'll probably have a resolution.
Resolution.
We can
Do
do
a
it right.
resolution immediately and make it not pro tunc to either.
Okay.
You want me to get a resolution number?
If you can, that would be great. We're gonna find us a resolution number real quick.
Talking about a
Yeah, I
moratorium
would
on
do
all
that, to do like we did in the,
On all signage that exceeds,
off-premise.
on all off-premise signage that exceeds 25 square feet. Effective immediately. Everybody good with that? Brad?
Yeah.
Kenny? You good with that?
Brad, can I ask you a question? I know that this was adopted July 2000, you said we have a definition of billboards, but I was, of course, there I go assuming again,
Residual.
40 square
last
foot
week.
billboard, 60,
25,
that this was what we were basing our ordinances on the setbacks and the height.
Yeah, but again, really, the definition of billboard is not in here,
Okay.
other than it, pushing it to the state. So when someone says billboard, we're kind of in limbo.
Now, of course, the issue may come up in the meantime, that whether this meeting properly noticed the action that the council took.
According to what I saw on the door, it does.
Well, is this discuss / take action on sign ordinance?
Well, the
Roger.
agenda does.
It says discuss /
Yeah,
take
discuss
action on
and
sign
take action,
ordinance.
yeah.
Okay, so the resolution number that Janet found is Resolution 2526. Again, this would be a moratorium to take effect immediately on off-premise signs 25 square feet or larger.
And or referred to as billboards. Menu boards,
Well,
I don't
menu,
think you-
that doesn't,
you mean
that's
just
not
not
off
even-
premises.
okay. okay, never mind.
As billboards.
You read that.
Sure. Moratorium to take effect immediately on off-premise signs 25 square feet or larger, also referred to as billboards, or can be referred to as billboards. We have a motion for Mr. Gravitt, a second for Mr. Sewell.
Question, now you said
Yes,
25 feet or larger, right?
yes. Or,
25 square feet or larger.
So we get a 20 square foot billboard come in,
Well, 25 square feet's a 5 by 5.
Right.
So if someone came in here with a 4 by 4,
if I were
if they
to come
wanna
in
pay
with
the
6 by
regular 4
4,
by
that's
4
24 square
billboard, you
feet.
know, I guess they can knock themselves out. You wanna reduce it?
I'm just questioning.
No, I understand. I'm just wondering if you wanna reduce it. If you wanna reduce it, that's fine too. You won't get any argument out of me.
Let's go with the way it's wrote now.
You gotta be able to sit in like 60 foot.
we have, what's that little sign say way up there? Let's see. All right.
Yeah,
Any other
gentlemen,
comments or questions?
gentlemen.
Yes.
Now you're talking about 60 foot high. Our 40 square foot or less can only go 25 to the max. So, or 20 foot to the max. So these signs would not be going 60 foot, they'll be going 20 foot
Right.
to the
And-
max.
Now, we're talking about the ones at the Bass Pro Shop bus up there, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not talking about them, we're talking about this one.
Well, I know, but it's still sign ordinance.
Well, this would
That's
be,
it.
this would just be for off-premise signs, you know, billboard type signs that are located somewhere, advertising something somewhere else.
That's what I'm saying, because that's what they're going to be advertising in these streets.
If they erect their sign on their property though, it's an off-premise sign, so it's
It's on
not.
the state property sitting down
Well, it was based upon.
I'm pretty sure they'll cover the bases on that. They'll put it where it needs to be put.
Do we need to put a height on that,
On what?
on his 5 by 5?
You're right. Hang on.
We're on hold here for just a minute.
He's not doing it.
Recalibrating our numbers.
Now, do we still want our attorney to check the state too?
Oh, I definitely think, well, I think Kenny was gonna check with RPA
Yeah.
and discuss
And
those
attorney was too.
things, that, yeah, how if you happen to find something that would be relevant to the conversation.
Sorry, that's not gonna have to roll one. Should go.
Expired. You got box lunch in there. Yeah, they would do.
Take the box.
We good where we are?
I think so, yeah.
One more comment. It looks like state law talks about signage near the freeways and interchanges of 660 feet. Would anything that we're doing impact that, this moratorium? Are there any 660 feet that, from, say, the freeway?
That's not our jurisdiction. It's theirs, isn't it?
That's my point. Whether we're doing something that impacts the state that preempted municipal law by imposing a limit on 660 feet.
We don't have any current applications in for anything there.
But if we did,
We can find that out before we take the second vote.
Well, I think to,
This is not,
Moratorium, yeah,
this is a resolution, this is not an ordinance.
This will be a one-shot deal.
One just a moratorium.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we can always lift it. We can always lift it.
Well, you
Or
could,
amendment.
you could put, we can amend this to say, except for those areas under the jurisdiction of the state of Tennessee.
Brad,
Right, no, preempted by,
the most
state or
recent
federal
application
law.
that we had, that's not been completed. Did they ever bring it back?
No.
Is it outside the 660, which would be ours?
Mhm.
Okay.
And it has to be completed within 6 months, though, application for a billboard.
Yes.
Mark, would you mind amending
Yeah, amend the
your motion to, it's moratorium on moratorium to take effect immediately on off-premise signs 25 square feet or larger, often referred to as billboards, except for those areas preempted
By either state or
the
federal.
state of Tennessee, or state or federal law. Okay. Does
Sounds
that
good.
sound good? Okay.
Yes.
Larry? Second, okay. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes,
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Stoll.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. All right, folks,
Breakfast.
we are pretty much finished here. I do have one question. How quickly can we pass this on second reading? Would it be possible to have first reading at our November meeting, second reading at December meeting?
I just have to get with John, and so I can get all the answers to everything that I've written down and all the notes that I've taken. I'll reach out to him this week. I think that's highly possible. That meeting when, next week? First?
Let's read it this way.
And can you get with, our lawyer too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, he'll be copied on.
Because he's gonna check on the state.
Absolutely.
Good.
Well, this is significant enough. Frankly, I'd want to get another opinion from MTS as well after we've looked at it.
Yeah.
But we can go as quickly as y'all want to go.
You know,
I would do it and worry about it later.
I'd rather them tasks be involved, he was getting in hot water later.
I would like to have it finished by the end of this year, if possible. And if we can have called meetings however we want to, maybe we only have one called meeting and then the other reading can take place on a regularly scheduled night.
Just has to be 13
Whatever.
days.
Yeah. So, with the holidays coming, it kind of skews the schedule a little bit, but
Let me get all the additional information put in here.
Yeah.
And then let me get with John, because he's gonna wanna put together a brief presentation of the sign ordinance in full scale, basically, with images, so he can, because he's already got a lot of that stuff already put together. And I think it'll help everybody with a little bit more understanding.
And maybe if each one of us can come with a list, a possible list of changes, maybe shoot them over to Kenny, send them out to the rest of the council. If we want to visit the teardrop flag signage, or if we don't want to visit it, whatever.
all right. Thank you very much for being here. Everybody have a good day.